This is a very exciting start to my Mekong adventure. This is Sam from Tigit Motorbikes, and that's Renzo from the Extra Mile. We got 2 CBs and we got 4 days to explore the Mekong Delta. It's no secret that Tigit John does not like riding the Mekong, so the mission for this trip is to prove him wrong and find gold. And we're off to a cracking start with some classic Mekong back roads. It's currently the wet season in the south of Vietnam, so everything's super green and lush.
I think the bikes are heavier than that wood plank. I mean, if they say yeah, then yeah.
We don't have a choice anyway.
Only 2 hours into the ride and this will be our 3rd ferry, but certainly not the last ferry. I was getting pretty nervous watching this guy handle our bikes like they were bicycles, especially when it's not my bike. But it's pretty clear to see he's got some skill. And you can check Renzo's look of relief right now. With our bikes safely on land, we take some colourful back roads, with a quick gas stop heading into Backpeel. And has the serenity. We may have broken John's cardinal rule about no night driving, but we wanted to push and make kilometres for a head start on day 2. Good morning, it's day 2. We're in Backpeel. We're gonna head down to Camel, which is the most southern point of Vietnam. Then we're heading back up to Rakia. We've got a 400-kilometre day today. I gotta say I've shied away a lot from the Mekong in my time in Vietnam. It's always been described to me as being flat and straight, and my life is about motorbiking. The Mekong's a very peaceful, genuine place. I've said hello to about 10 people in my first 5 minutes this morning. Very, very cheery, relaxing kind of place. Cool little lake, and apparently that's next year's Olympics. The Mekong's constantly developing, and today's route took us where there was no road.
You wanna go look?
Can we go? Yeah, we can go in, right? Yeah, why not?
And amongst all of this, we found this brand new temple. That's my retirement plan right there. It's been a little bit fun in the mud.
Oh, hey.
You take the front, I will take the back.
Feet, no feet. Just aged 5 years.
Day 2, and this will be ferry number 12, maybe 13. The Mekong has endless scenery, but I must admit, it can make the riding feel endless too. Quick drink stop at this little tap hoa. Some very healthy choices were made.
Nước sôi. And Mosso Cave. Yeah.
She must have sensed my love of animals because she proudly showcased this puppy for my camera. So cute. The Mekong tends to be this mix of these long, straight, open highways and then these small back roads around farms and rivers. The ride into Camel was one long, straight highway that stretched over 100 kilometres. We're going to Dat Moi, which is the most southern part of Vietnam. I'd say it's pretty rare to find wildlife in Vietnam, but in Camel it's a protected mangrove area. It still doesn't stop the locals from feasting though. The security guard told me the mud skippers are delicious. Initially, the plan for Renzo and I was to drop into Dat Moi, take a few photos and see if it was worth recommending. But from the parking lot to the tower and the flag point, it's about 1 hour's worth of walking. It's also bang on midday and we're wearing motocross gear. I'd recommend planning this out a little bit better than we did. An obligatory stare into the abyss. Not to worry though, there's a safety net over the top that will most definitely hold your weight. More people should know this, but this is the 2nd largest mangrove forest in the world after the Amazon. So large in fact, Renzo and I got a little bit lost walking through them. It was worth our efforts though, because we made it to the most southern point in Vietnam. After all that walking in the midday sun, what's better than a bowl of hot, refreshing soup? This town must be pretty remote. People stop their bikes in the road to watch us eat. Another great example of why tour guides are invaluable. Here's Renzo explaining the traffic lights to me.
But everyone just keeps going.
For cars. In the small bridges with a light, only for the cars. Yeah, this is not logical.
No.
About 100 kilometers outside of Rakia, we found a break in the trees to take some nice photos. This deserves a little shout out to our Tigit Photoshop expert. As you can see, I am no expert in taking photos. This is the road we'll be riding on for the next 100 kilometers. It's night 2 and we made it here just before sunset. We're in Rakia right now. And this is a sign right outside my window. Yay. Rakia is the town where you can reach most islands in the south of Vietnam from. Renzo and I took a night drive through Rakia and we were quite shocked at how fancy it was.
Yeah. This one is coffee. Cheers! Oh. Paradise Club. It's a club.
Renzo's outside. We're in this really cool restaurant. Renzo enjoys talking to people while I enjoy talking to bikes. Good morning. It's day 3. We're just about to leave Rakia. Today we've only got 80 kilometers to get to Chao Dot. The road's been really nice. It's just thick, green and luscious, but the places in the Mekong are very few and far between. We're lucky we've got CBs. We've got 100-kilometer stretches of straight roads to get through. So hopefully today we'll do a bit more exploring and find some more touristy stuff. And what did we find? More of the same. At this point the roads are starting to melt into one. I love the scenery, but this CB's been upright for 2 days straight now. So this lady's just told us it is bitter melon. Oh wow. Oh wow, cool. Just rows and rows of disgusting vegetables. Sorry.
I like bitter melon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I gotta say, this is be easy on a blade. Not so much on a 200 kilo bike. Dan's a little homestay. Let's go check it out. That's a vote for no vultures. Bye bye.
He says that they can also prefer to have a boat to go out on the seaside.
Really?
Yeah.
How new is this place?
Well, apparently very, very new because he says it's not active yet.
I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me when I saw a mountain up ahead. Could it be salvation? I finally get to tip the bike after being upright for 3 days. It was easily my favorite 10 minutes out of the entire trip. Unfortunately, when we got halfway up, we discovered the temple was under construction. So took a few photos, enjoyed the view, and then headed back down. Now this is what a typical school run looks like in the Mekong. You can hear this little girl call out, "Uncle, there's some foreigners over there." Surprise! Some more rice fields. Now it's time to hit the coast. We're heading towards Hat Tin, which is pretty close to the Cambodian border. That's where you go to cross. But we're gonna check out this cave pretty soon. Turns out the river roads heading towards the Mosso Cave were all being torn up. I was so grateful for the unexpected off-roading. It was just exciting enough to keep me awake. Then it ended with a nice balance challenge. That's wide enough.
Yeah.
Well, as far as we can see. And it's all good, as long as we don't have to turn around. Our tour guide was this local lady who lived by the cave. Renzo and I got the impression that locals living by the cave decided to offer tickets for people to take a look, and thus it became a loose definition of a tour. There's no ticket booth, information pamphlet, signs, safety precautions, just this lovely older lady leading us through with her supporting team of dogs.
There's some natural rock formations that look like some of the characters of the mythology. Bitter melon.
Bitter melon. Ow, shirt?
No, like a dress.
A dress, ah. Bomb bomb. Oh, balloon? Ball.
No, what the breasts.
So.
The mermaid.
Turtle with beer. There's a cat. I think that's the nose.
It's impressive.
Wow. That's cool. Cái này là cá sấu. Crocodile.
Oh, during the war, she says that when the enemies were coming this side, then the Vietnamese will get into the cave on the other side.
She was the definition of chill. Perhaps I was too quick to judge the Mekong, because we both found something that even John would like. Oh, I wish I had a fold-up KTM. You could get up there.
Oh shit.
Not on a CV.
Scary and fun.
I dropped a pin on the map and in my heart. We found this family-owned restaurant with food so fresh it was from farm to table. No, not that, but this. Renzo's love of food knows no bounds. Every trip we do together, I try to expand my immature palate. And yes, I ate the heart. Sadly, no superpowers were gained. Full of organs and mystery meat, we headed towards Bachop. I've had this museum on my list for a while now. I've got a lot of interest in history, and especially war history. But it's hard to find preserved sites and deeper information. But we're in Bachop right now, and this is a site of where the Khmer Rouge invaded around, I think, 1975. Very similar to the killing fields, I guess. The museum had pretty basic information, but the remains spoke for themselves. It's hard to preserve history when there's no one left to tell the story. Despite its history, there's a lot of positive Cambodian influence in this region. Some locals don't even speak Vietnamese, but only Khmer. Here we found a Khmer temple built right in the middle of paradise. So we're at a temple in Truton. It's built right in between the rice fields. And they never saw her again. Whilst Renzo chatted with an older monk outside, I discovered I watched too many horror movies and recreated my very own. And look, we found this super cool bell. It was made from an old bomb. Time to see our good friend Min in Triton. And this is where the real cultural education began. As I said before, Renzo's the guy who eats anything, whereas I need a bit of a push.
So this is the hobbit lon, a traditional Vietnamese delicacy. Salt, pepper and kumquat together. The egg has a bottom that is larger than the top. We will take the larger part up. You break the top. You will see a membrane here. Just under the membrane, there's a liquid. This liquid, we drink it first. So good. So there will be 3 parts of the egg. The yellow is one, and there's 2 whites, a hard white and a soft white. The soft one will be a duck fetus. With a spoon, you cut through white and yellow together. So put them together, get some of the sauce. It's really good. This is the yellow. Like most of other yellows, this is the fetus. And this is where you can see it, if you want to see it. This is the head, the eye, the beak. So there you go, hobbit lon, and it's really tasty.
Okay, here we go. Sweet. Oh my god, look at it. Can you get me a piece of it, and then I'll eat the piece. So if I shouldn't look at it. Oh, I can smell it. Yes. Okay. At this point, I really wish I read the words on my shirt.
It's good. It tastes good.
Really good.
Very good.
A nice little night drive to remove that taste from my memory forever. So we're going to a hotel where you can't ride there?
It's a huyuluk, so it's like an entertainment area, but it's private, right? So
yeah,
they have their own transport for it.
They have this transport. They must have known the Australian was coming to stay, because I get my very own huntsman spider in the bathroom. Morning, it's day 3 of the ride, and today's the day that Renzo and I part ways. Renzo's the king of the Mekong, and the past 2 days he's been doing all the routes, and I've been grateful to tag along. Last night I looked at the maps and created my own route for today, which is heading towards Kanpur. Essentially what I did last night was zoomed in on the map and tried to find the windiest roads that I could, which is incredibly hard in the Mekong. Because of all the rice fields and the farm plantations, it's just a grid style roads and highways. Not many curves, and it's very, very flat. It's beautiful, but it's not really a motorcyclist dream. So I've got 2 roads that I found that wind, which consists of 3 ferries, and I've thought ahead and I've looked at the ferries on Google Maps and they're quite large. I am a little bit nervous about being alone with a 200 kilo bike and having to get on one of those tiny ferries. Yesterday Renzo had to help me reverse the bike. Apart from that, I'm pretty keen to explore 2 small islands and we'll see how it goes. After stealing that leaf from that tiny helpless puppy, it's time to put on my big girl boots and say goodbye to Renzo. First to critique is island number 1. 5 minutes on this island and it felt like my own personal episode of Survivor, but with more trucks than I remember. The ferry terminal was like the light at the end of the tunnel. With a 50% failure rate already, things aren't looking good, but I'm not giving up hope. And I'm on to the next island. So I just finished number 1 of 2 islands on the Mekong. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't enjoy the first island. Small towns with a lot of markets and really rural towns where everyone knows each other. People, they drive their motorbikes like they're walking in a shopping mall. And it's very quaint and very nice, but it doesn't make for great riding. It's also a very self-sufficient island, so they've got, you know, garbage trucks and construction trucks and ambulances, a lot of small markets. So basically 50% of the bikes have massive loads of fruit, vegetables, food, whatever. So I can't say it's been a success, but I've ticked that off the list and I'm probably not going to do that island again. So I've got another chance at finding some nice things, a few more chances today. So let's see how it goes. Oh, ducks, goose, geese. This is where she began the descent into madness. The ferry took me off one island and onto a second island that was completely the same. This was my Mekong Groundhog Day. One last lucky shot of the day, I found a small back road near my homestay. Heading towards Kantar, and I found like this DT road that goes basically in a loop around Kantar, then back into Kantar. Last chance, kind of running out of battery and energy. It takes a lot of concentration and it's exhausting. I've yet to find something that I can kind of relax into. At the moment I'm on edge, just like driving in the city, really. And we have a winner! Running on my last 5% of mental, physical and emotional battery, I found a beautiful little back road behind my homestay. I found a prime spot by the river to sit down and reflect on the journey behind me. And when I say reflect, I mean I dumped my motorbike at the homestay, got a bicycle, bought some beers and drank them warm by the river. Newfound appreciation, even more so, for Renzo this tour. He's very much an expert in the Mekong. I've realized just how much time and effort and constant updating and tender loving care that the Mekong needs. Let's go. This way. Aww. This is the Daniel homestay. Hey there! You say hello? You're gonna walk straight past me, right? Oh no, hello! Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, my favorite. Nope. Favorite part about the Mekong. Or Vietnam, hey?